And she had enough wagon she was dragging. She wasn't going through that bench. I mean, that hole. She was stuck there. So from there, I went to Ferguson. And Ferguson, that unit was segregated. Now, that was the only unit in the state of Texas that was actually segregated. Like, over here was the white, the brothers, over here was the Mexicans, and over here was the white boys. And like I said, if there ain't very many white boys, they don't get much in there, right? So the white boys' bench was about this long, and it was like 4 stiff white boys there. So they got their bench. The Mexicans' benches was lined up on Ferguson, TV here, benches and benches. Make a long story short.
Hey, hold on, do the white boys have a TV?
No, they barely had a seat in this situation. You know what I mean? And that's another thing. I remember going in there, and my first time on Ferguson, I didn't know it was segregated. I knew that it was going to be like every other unit, but I didn't know it was like that. Like, it was segregated. And I remember me sitting in that penitentiary. I remember after I got my rep, after we got in there, we had some situations, and I handled them. And after the situations, people started noticing, hey, that's Red Dawg from, oh yeah, that's whatever. Make a long story short, I was accepted immediately.
Yeah.
Okay. And I remember that no white boys ever sat on that bench in the front where the brothers sat. And I remember that to this day. I remember the warden coming back over there and snatching me up and telling me, man, how in the world are you doing this?
Yeah.
He said, I've been here like 9 years. And in these 9 years, or whatever the time frame it was, I don't remember exactly the years he said, but he said, ain't never been a white man sat on that bench.
Yeah.
And some of these things I'm young, I don't really care about that. You know what I mean?
The history.
That wasn't nothing. I'm bringing that up because I was accepted because I'm real. I'm solid. When the people that put me down and brought me into this game, this lifestyle, they didn't just put me, it wasn't a popularity thing to do that. They had to know that you was real. You was solid. You was one of them. You just had pale skin.
That's right. Let me ask you, what was the worst thing that sticks with you that you probably seen in prison?
Oh, man. The worst thing I've seen in prison was a woman getting raped right in front of us. Matter of fact, on Telford Unit, I've seen 3 women get raped.
Dang, hold on, wait.
I remember their names clearly. I'd rather not put them on the internet, but just know I watched them.
Can you speak on,
them. I watched one woman getting raped. She was so fine, I never forget it. Her name was, not her name, she was so fine, let's just say that.
Yeah.
And, in prison, they wear these gray pants and these little blue stripe down them, and she filled them pants out. So everybody was kind of always trying to shoot at her or whatever, right? She was definitely fine, beautiful, fine woman. And I remember we was in there serving. I remember exactly how the riot kicked off. Closed custody come through. That's on Telford Unit when the closed custody used to come out. Now they don't let them come out. But anyway, he slid, a little Mexican dude there slid a Mexican of milk. The black dude behind the Mexican wanted the extra milk. Once you give somebody something, everybody wants something. They're all hungry over there. We all, And that's what it started over, bro. I never forget it.
Over milk.
Over milk. And they went to riot in there. When I say it went crazy, like the world, it went insane in there. Bloom, 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 everything flying, stuff going crazy. Look, man, I'm talking, they believe it or not, Mexicans had knives on them, and I don't know, man. It just went insane at that moment, right? But I remember I was a server, and then in TDC, we're different. Like the servers that work in the kitchen, they're in population. The guys coming through are closed custody, but once a riot kicks off, you have to, if you don't want to go to closed custody or medium custody, then you have to back up and sit down, right? We know the routine. We're gonna get locked up too, at that time. We call it locked up when you're locked up.
Yeah.
But I remember I was serving the beans. I'm slapping beans. Now I didn't give a damn. I'll give everybody something. Because hell, I don't care about that. But again, on the milk side, he couldn't give everybody something because there's a counted number of cartons. You understand? Yeah. But hell, I'd put another thing of beans in. But anyway, they were going at it, boom, 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 fighting. And I remember that lady, that fine woman. There's a bean slot in prison. Behind the line, you got this bean slot which takes the trays. You slide them through, right? They're not the trays, but the pans, right? And it's that she was so fine that she was scared. She couldn't get her keys off her neck. Right? So I was sitting there, and she tried to go through there, and she had enough wagon she was dragging. She wasn't going through that bench. I mean that hole. She was stuck there. And you know, I at the time, ain't nobody, I didn't give a damn about her. I'm worried about what's going on because they're going to war in here. Yeah. And all of a sudden, one of them just jumped over and right there, bro, right in front of us, snatched her pants off, pulled his Johnson out and went at it. And I'm gonna tell you something, man, it really hurt my heart. It hurt my soul. It wasn't the fact that it was the fact that I'm not with the man, bro.
Yeah, like, is she screaming? Is she struggling?
I don't know what the top end was doing. The back end was at us. She was on the other side of the wall.
Damn.
Trying to crawl through there. I told you the bean slot's about like this. And she was trying to get through there, but he yanked her off. And not just that, another dude came in and listen, you know, at that time, I really wanted to get up. I felt like killing him. I wanted to kill somebody. Like to see a woman go through that, it don't make a real man, happy. And but there was no way, bro. There was nothing I could do. You hear me? I would have died in there. They were going to war in there. It wasn't like you're thinking. It wasn't just a couple of men fighting. It was a whole 100 men in there going at it. Like, I mean, and it involved, everybody started fighting. It wasn't just blacks and Hispanics. It was everybody. Everybody was over there was fighting. Whoever might have been in there. And they're shooting gas. You know, they got them little gas guns. Boom, they're blowing gas in there. I'm trying to breathe. I'm looking over here. I'm not, man, it was just insane. But that to me was probably, you know, I've seen inmates die. I've seen inmates jump off rows, jump off the top, do a nosedive into concrete. I've seen it all. I've seen inmates. I remember I had this white cellie one time and he was not trying to be where we were. And he was like, man, please, I'll pay you. I'll pay you. Man, I'll pay you. I'll pay you to break my hand. I'm like, what? And we got a shitter brush in prison about that long, got a head on it. He's like, man, just, Red, please, just break my hand. Well, I was broke. I'm gonna bust his hand wide open if I can. And he put it down there like that, and he had a whole bag of commissary. I didn't have hardly anything at that point. He put his hand down there, and I'm looking at it. And I didn't think it would take, I mean, I really thought I could just pop it, you know, and it'd break.
Yeah.
And that shit didn't break. He hit it, bam, he hollering, oh, he's looking at it. I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, damn, did it break? You know what I mean? But finally, I read from way back, and I hit him, bow, and that thing swelled up like a biscuit. I mean, immediately. And I got in trouble for that too, but he got out of there. He left me in the field. So, you know, there's a lot of things that happen in prison that are...
Did you ever have to do a job, work in prison? I heard that, you know, I've had people that have been to Ferguson and say they had to pick cotton and stuff like that. Right,
that's the cotton picking unit. Mm. Like they got, so on cotton, so when you go, listen, when you get into Ferguson fields, called the fields, right? They, you come out your cell, they line you up at the back gate, and then they march you out through that, and you know, you got your high rider out there with the gun, you can't run. I mean, people think, well, they're letting you out of prison, you ain't going nowhere. But then they give you this is the truth. And picking cotton, man, bro, that is hard. You
had to do it?
Yeah, we did it. I did it many times, many days. And then the sun beating on me. You know, I'm a pale-skinned man, so I'm getting sunburnt. I'm doing everything I can, but they won't help me out because I'm not white like them. Yeah. So I wasn't gonna get out of that.
Ray, let me ask you, just as a curiosity, did it ever come to your mind that, like, damn, this is what the slaves had to do back in the day? Did you ever think about that while you was out there?
No. I ain't gonna say I did. I don't even think like that, bro. Like that wasn't on my mind at all.
Did it ever cross your mind?
For me, no, hell no. No, I don't that type of thing don't even cross my thought pattern. Yeah, that wasn't gonna happen. I was thinking how I was picking this shit. And here's what they do. They give you this big old blue, it's what they give you a mattress sack that you sleep on at nighttime. It's the same sack. They cut the top, pull all the stuff out of it, the old ones, I guess, and they give you that. Got a strap on it, and you got to start picking this cotton. You start on your run with everybody else, they're lined up, and you got a dude singing cadences or whatever, you know, and we're boom, boom, boom. And it's that cotton don't just pop off there like that. And that cotton, you got thorns in there or something that keep it like, bro, like I'm slow moving, but you got to speed it up. So, but when you get that big sack full, and that's a lot, it's a lot. Once you get it full on the end of your run, it's cotton it looked like it's 10 miles long. In that summer too, oh my God, man. When we're going at it, and when you get your bag full, then you go over to the wagon, you got to drag it, you got to carry it and throw it in the back of another one. Anyway, and get you another sack and take off again. And your hands are bleeding. I never forget it. I remember we was in the fields one day, and this day we wasn't you don't just pick cotton on Ferguson. You hit on it too. And I remember one day this Mexican, it's a true story.
Yeah.
I remember one day this Mexican said, "Hey, boss." That's they call him the guard. He's trying to tell him something, and he ain't listening, because you hitting on that ground like that, and your hands ain't built for it, they'll bleed real bad. They'll bust. I mean, it's terrible. And you got to get calluses out, you know. Anyway, make a long story short, they shot him in his head right there in front of everybody. The Mexican was going toward, I think that was on Telford. Man, I remember where I think that might have been on Ferguson.
Damn.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Whoever in the comments remember where it was, they can tell you.
Yeah.
So he goes to the officer. He's like, blah, blah, blah. He's talking Spanish. And I never forget that he pulls his gun out. He's like, don't approach me. And I'm saying right here, bro. We're like right there. And we're all working and looking, and he's trying to get at him. Make a long story short, you know, we don't pay attention too much more, but you hear the guard all hollering, and I guess the Mexican didn't understand English. So he walked a little closer to him and boom! Shot him right between the eyes, man. No bullshit. Whoever was in TDC at the time will tell you that is a true story. Killed that man right in front of us. And everybody, they make us all lay down immediately, strip down and lay down right now. Then they bring this wagon out there, and then they take you 4, 5, or 10 at a time, butt naked in that wagon all the way up the hill. And it was terrible, man. It was terrible. And then we was on lockdown for about a month or two.